Hey everybody. Sorry. I haven't been live because the new Harry Potter Hogwarts game came out yesterday, so I played that till like 4:30 in the morning. And then I took a nap this morning because I was tired. But if anyone games, I highly recommend. But it's really really good. It's not like any other game I have played, and I really love it. And I know some people don't really care for J.K. Rowling, but I don't believe that the video game is like connected to her. Like I don't think like I think it's made, it has nothing. It's not connected to her in any way. I'm pretty sure. But well, let me say hello to everyone. Hi, Amanda, Jen, Randy Man, Nina, Jeremiah. Hey, 5 6 7 8. How was your birthday? Hey, Linda. My hubby's birthday is on Friday, and then Sunday is the Super Bowl. So I'm really excited. I think this is gonna be a really good Super Bowl because, well, of course, the Eagles are in the Super Bowl, but there's like a lot of storylines. Like the Chiefs coach used to be the Eagles coach for 11 years, and there's two brothers actually playing against each other for the first time ever in the Super Bowl, and two friends from high school. I don't know if they're playing together or against each other, but regardless, it was lovely. Oh, well, that's good to hear. And before I start, I just like want to address a situation real quick that just to kind of like, I don't know, you most of y'all probably don't even know, but if you have, now you'll know. And I'm just gonna explain what happened real quick because I just feel that I should. So the other day, a couple of my friends messaged me and was like, "Hey, like check out this case. It's really crazy." Thanks, Nina. Love you, girl. I know you do. Um, like it's really crazy. Check it out real quick. So I was like, all right, like, I don't really have that much time because in like probably like an hour and a half, maybe a little more from that point, I was going on the Decipher podcast to talk with them about the Murdaugh trial and like all things Murdaugh. And I found like, yeah, hold on. I can just type it out. You have to like type it out for some reason because if it doesn't, it comes out weird. So, anyways, it's Zoomer Mom. So I was like, yeah, like I'll look into it. I had seen a few screenshots, and they sent me like the group that what we thought was the family group because, yeah, I know. Well, I mean, in hindsight, I probably should have like waited to completely research it. But, anyways, yay! Thank you, Zoomer Mom. So, anyways, I was like, you know what? Like, yeah, I'll go live real quick. I got like an hour, but we'll just like, shoot the ish and, talk and look at it together or whatever. Cause I just, wanted to do a little like powwow with my subs. So, um, I thought that the group was like the family group or whatever. And upon opening the group, there was like a timeline in there. So I read the timeline, which wasn't, I guess somebody just posted it, but I made it like I tried to make it very clear that like I really didn't know. Yeah, it had so in the group, the main friend that was searching was leaving updates. some other searchers were posting. Right. I really try and stay out of the dramas, your mom, I swear. I'm addressing a little bit of drama right now, but it's only because people are upset with me and I'm trying to explain myself. So, people understand I wasn't trying to be intentionally hurtful to this case or anything. So anyway, I I went like I said like several times like, hey, like I really don't know much about this case, and I promise I will do a deep dive. But I just heard about it. Oh, thank you, True Texan. That's so nice of you. Thank you. The Tyler Doyle case. It's a guy who is from I think it's North Carolina. He was duck hunting, and I guess with him and his friend, and his boat capsized and he's missing. Hey Mal. So I will like, they haven't really done any interviews or have spoken publicly. So besides like in the news, there's not really, there's not really much details. Hey, it's me, Jay. So I went into what I thought was the family group at the time. And I start reading some posts just to see like, what was going on, because I personally like just, this is like, I maybe was looking at it for like 10 minutes before and just looking at screenshots, and I really didn't know much about it. So I know I said in my video, like, hey, I don't really know much about this case. I'm just like kind of like looking at it now with you. Like, I just wanted to check out, let's just like, I was in the Facebook group, and I was sharing like the screenshots that I had that were in the group. And there was a few posts from like searchers saying that they had gone out there and things were weird. And this one guy went out there with his tracking dog and couldn't get a hold of the family. There's a lot of like speculation around the case. And like in the groups, a lot of people are saying that things are strange. So, literally upon looking at it for like only not long at all, because I was just kind of like hanging out with my friends and like, hey, let's just look at it while we're here. Upon first glance, it looked strange. I mean, because you have people who were going down there and helping. Like, I hadn't had time. Thank you, Jen. Thanks, girl. I appreciate it. You don't get me all emotional. All right. So, but like everything that I read, I showed on the screen, and I made it very, like, I kept saying, like, I really don't know. Like, I didn't know much about the case, and I was showing that I was reading stuff. Like, I wasn't, maybe I should have, like, expressed, like, hey, this isn't, like, fact, this is opinion more than I did. But, like, I thought that I made it clear that I was just looking at what people were saying, and that, right? Well, me too, for, like, another week. Oh, man. So, yeah, I put all the screenshots on the screen, and it was clearly what other people were saying. It was not, yeah, I tried to make it as obvious as I could, but in hindsight, I probably should have waited till I had time to like research the whole thing, and not like rush to do it, because I guess, maybe some people would take, it seriously or whatever. I don't know. But, and I did say, like, oh, yeah, this is weird. And this is what some people were saying, like, and I, even if it's not weird, from what I had seen, just like looking in that little bit of time, it looked weird to me. You know what I mean? Like, the more I looked into it, maybe, things may have been taken out of context. Like, and I didn't know that family group had been abandoned and two strangers had taken it over. I had no idea. I thought that was the family group. So I really wasn't trying to spread misinformation. And sorry. I take my channel very seriously, and what I say on my channel, and I got a lot of backlash, and people were leaving me mean comments. Saying that I was like a tragedy pimp, and like that I was spreading misinformation, and which I would never do, and try really hard not to like over talk about cases or exploit them, or I try, I don't like publicly share wish lists or ask for money. Like, yeah, I share my Cash App and stuff because like most people do, it takes a lot of time to like look into cases, and so I know you guys, and I really appreciate everyone who knows me, who immediately was like, no way, Kate would never like intentionally do that, because I wouldn't, and yeah, well, it was bad. And then they said I doubled down in my comments, and I wasn't doubling down. I was just trying to explain myself. Like, this is why um, I did it this way, and this is what happened. And like I wasn't trying to argue with people. I was just explaining that. Thank you, Cup. Thank you, everyone. But I think Jen Lou's going live tonight at 9. So I'm not gonna stay on here too long. But I know it's me, Jay. I just, I don't know. It was like tough because, I know like I've always tried really hard, and I got me upset that people were freaking out over like this one video, and that I really wasn't trying to, you know, cause harm to this case or their family or anything like that. And it just blown up more than I wanted to, and it was really unintentional. It was just I should, like I said, I take fault in that I should have researched it further and took my time. But I just, my friends were like, "Hey, let's talk about this," and I was like, "Yeah, like let's do a powwow. Let's just go look it up." And it was only like 10 minutes in. You didn't have to do that, Mel. Thank you. It's not your fault. It's not. It's not. But yeah, I just wanted people to know, like, know that it really wasn't intentional. And that I appreciate everyone who was supportive towards me and stuck up for me, and immediately said, Kate would never intentionally do something like this, because I never would. And I appreciate it. And I'm just going to leave it at that. I took the video down. Well, I unlisted it because a couple people had wanted to see it so they can, and it was never monetized. Uh, it was always unmonetized. And I didn't mean to cause any trouble. All right, moving on. Hi, that girl. There you go, Jen. All right. I know. I just wanted to like apologize because I know how like people are. Some people would take that stuff as fact and run with it, and I wasn't trying to do that. I was just, I didn't. I was literally looking into it for like 10 minutes. I had not even known about it, and I said like, "Hey, you know, I'm just finding out about this case. I don't know much about it. We'll just, look into it together." And I didn't know the family abandoned the Facebook group. I didn't know all that, and of course, as like live looking into it, all I just seen was these posts about, searchers going there and saying things were weird. So of course, like my initial reaction was gonna be like, oh yeah, this seems weird, but you know, hey girl.
I'm not going to let you sit up here and beat yourself up. Hell
I
no.
know. I know.
You've apologized more than enough, and you didn't even need to apologize.
Oh, I know, but
You're
like
allowed to say what you want.
yeah, thank you, that girl. Yeah, no, but like I should have looked into it more before I went into it, and I didn't know, and I like I get why people are mad, but I didn't mean to. It wasn't like I researched the case. I even said like I'm going to do a deep dive later. I haven't even really looked into this, so like I didn't know all that stuff, but like I didn't know that the family abandoned the group. I didn't know everything, so I was just looking at it in like real time almost. Like I had seen a few screenshots before I went live, but I was literally like just looking into it in real time,
Mm-hmm.
pretty much.
Well, and
And
it's
I
one
think,
thing if you're going to leave a comment and just say, I don't agree with you, but to like spam somebody's comment when you hold yourself to a higher level, certain people, I don't know. That to me was ass backwards because, you claim you're a professional channel and not you, but other people that left multiple messages and then took it to another chat and another chat. Like, cut it out. Cut it out. One comment is enough.
and
No need to go so hard.
my email is on my channel too. So if anybody ever has an issue with something, people can always email me and let me know. And if somebody had emailed me and said like, hey, this could cause problems or whatever. This is what happened, blah blah blah, and I didn't know, and explained to me, like I could have been like, okay, well then, yeah, that makes sense, and I'll delete it. But that didn't happen. I just got comments, yelling at me, calling me a piece of crap, and comparing me to Tragedy Pimp. So, I was, I just basically in my comments said like, hey, like that wasn't my intention. This is what I was doing, and I wasn't doubling down. I was just, hi Cam. I was just, you know,
I think you were
explaining.
explaining where you were coming from.
Yeah.
Sorry. Hi, Kim. You didn't do anything wrong there, sugar.
I know, but I feel like I did.
No, I think a lot of people learn lessons from the whole thing. I mean, from how you deal with if you don't agree with someone to maybe handle it privately. Don't go on a live stream with 300 people and call someone out like that. It's not fair. Especially when the person's not even on the stream to stand up for themselves or on the panel.
No,
Lesson
I was
learned.
in chat. I didn't want to go up on panel, but I mean, it was nice that
You had a lot
you
of
know,
support in there.
she was trying to help me, but I think it just went left. You know what I mean? Thank you, Randy, man. Hey, that girl.
Hey, you're like super kind and super sweet and super easy to talk to. And anybody who knows you or has been around at all knows that you are not a malicious, tragedy sucking, pimp bleach, whatever weird name they want to put on it this week. And just because people overreact and jump the gun doesn't make you a bad person. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like you were like, for some reason, singled out,
Mm-hmm.
that you were given very harsh criticisms over something that was literally just some live research. And I hate hearing you upset because other people think that they can gatekeep things or how other people do things. And you don't ever act maliciously or ugly at all. And I don't want you to be too hard on yourself.
I know. I just like,
The tragedy
I guess.
pimp them got me though, because this girl doesn't, even in our private mod chat, she's not like, hey, drop my Cash App, drop my PayPal. Never ever says it. Ever. We do it on our own, but she never ever says it. Ever. And she's always appreciative of what anybody donates. And it's so crazy when you hear someone say tragedy pimp, they use it so loosely now.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. And I don't really have much to add other than from what I've seen, I don't feel like you did anything malicious or wrong at all. And you just can't let people like try to dictate how you do what feels right or wrong to you because you're worried about what they think. Because anybody who's around knows your true intentions, Kate.
I know. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, I just wanted to, like, I don't know, because I don't know. I just wanted to address it and just tell people, like, it wasn't like I wanted to go live and like trash a family or anything like that. It was like I was looking at it in real time and you know, I I mean, lesson learned now that I should probably wait.
I
But
see.
I
I don't
tried to.
necessarily agree with that because I do real time research with my chat and it's a lot of fun.
It
And
is.
we
I
always,
mean, that's why it was kind of like a powwow with my
Exactly.
friends.
yeah.
Like, hey, let's just like look at this together, And that's in my mind, like,
And I'm not being
what?
ugly, but it's not like you have hundreds in your chat that are then going to disperse
Yeah,
amongst the masses and talk shit. It's not even like that.
yeah. Like
No,
I was just.
Kate, I mean,
Really.
you have to stop apologizing because you really have said sorry way too many already. um, I mean, anyone who knows you a little bit knows that you have never the wrong intentions. In
Yeah. I mean,
cases,
a lot of people
especially
in
in
my comments
cases,
don't know much about me. So
don't know you indeed, but I mean, if they really listened, and they also would have heard that you're researching
Thank you, Steph B.
together.
Welcome.
Welcome to the
thanks,
membership.
Stephanie.
Then they would have also, have heard that you said that you are researching together with the chat, and you said that in the beginning.
Yeah.
I feel like
And
we're a little bit of a
that
victim of
girl
mob mentality.
also said it.
Don't you
Yeah,
think, Lynn?
that
It's like
Kate was
mob.
kind of singled out.
I,
Sorry,
I,
Necro.
I
You're
think.
breaking up.
Oh,
I can
am I?
hear you now, though. I can hear you now.
Oh, I was just kind of agreeing with Lynn and asking Lynn if she felt like you were kind of a victim of mob mentality because it seems like a bunch of people who don't
Yeah,
channel came over to criticize you.
Yeah, I don't even I don't know who some of these people are.
honestly, I feel like yes, that this now happened to Kate, because I mean, lots of people are covering this case and are saying other stuff and way more harsh stuff.
I think
And they're
that's the
saying their
benefit
own
of her being
opinion.
one of the first.
Yeah, they are saying their own opinions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Kate was just saying the opinions of other people, not even her own opinion. Yeah, okay, she said it was suspicious. Sorry, but then doesn't everyone find it suspicious, this case? I
A
still
lot of
find it
people do.
suspicious.
I mean, like,
And hey, anyone can come after me. I don't care. I still find it suspicious. Come after me all you want.
I don't know. Like, a lot of things were explained later that I was like, oh, okay, then, you know, I get it. Like, I had no idea that Facebook group was abandoned by by, I guess, a friend of the family made it, and then they abandoned it, and I had no idea. And that was like my next best thing. It's like they're not talking to the media, so I'll go in the Facebook group. The Tyler Doyle case, Sheila.
Well, and
It's a
Jones,
guy. Go ahead, that girl.
sorry, Jones and in chat said that you specifically stated when you felt certain things were rumor. So, I mean,
I know I did some things, but like I showed it on the screen, like I was reading from posts. Like it was more like I was showing like the buzz about the case and what people were saying because I didn't know about it. But I made sure like I showed them on the screen so people could see that I was showing, you know, posts from the group and stuff. I wasn't like saying like
She
this is what
wasn't
happened.
making it up.
Yeah, like I wasn't saying like this is what happened and this is it. I was just saying this is what people are saying. I mean, all of it was clearly like a lot of opinion or things from people from like searchers who were there, stuff like that. So
No risk. The channel didn't change. Kate just wanted
no.
to say something, and we just felt like she was kind of a little bit of a victim of, a mob mentality, like that girl said.
Lynn, I love your voice. It's so sweet and kind.
Yeah, no more sorries.
Yeah, I want you to know, I personally just love you, and I think you're great, and I think you're super sweet and kind.
I love you too.
I don't know anybody that knows you that has bad things to say about you. So, at the risk of sounding rude to certain people, they can all just go F themselves, and you just keep being you. And please try not to be sad. And just know there's a lot of people that know your heart and where you're coming from. And the ones that matter know, right? So, I'm actually being served dinner, so I've got to jump down. But I just wanted to come up and show you some love and some
Thank
support.
you.
Nobody that
Thank you.
I know views you that way, and I've been around here a long time, girl. So
I
don't
know.
don't let them get you down. I'll talk to you soon.
I'm
They
not.
don't say
All right.
graveyard
Thank
for
you, that
nothing.
girl.
Enjoy dinner.
Great.
Bye, that girl.
All right, y'all.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye. Hiccup, my accent. Ooh, what do you think?
With a sexy accent.
Sexy accent. No.
Well, I'll jump down because I want you to cover your case.
Yes,
All
I'm
right.
also going
I'll
to
talk
jump
about
We move
Aiden
on from
Fucci
this.
first, Rick.
Yes,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
are moving on from this.
All right, bye, chickas.
Rest
I'll be
we're
in chat.
going to go cover
All right, thank
cases. Hiccup, I'm from Europe. Clearly not from a country that speaks English as their first language. So, yeah. But I'm also going... No, not Russian or Ukrainian. No. No. If you really want to know, I'll tell you. It's Belgium.
Where they make the
Okay.
good chocolate.
The good chocolate, indeed, and lots of beer and all the good stuff.
Right?
Okay, I'm going to jump down, Kate, so you can cover your cases like you always do, and you do it always very well.
Thank
Okay?
you.
Remember that. And we love you.
I love you too. I love all of you. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
For it.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. So I'll talk about Aiden Fucci first, because Risk is fired up about him. So I didn't really follow the Aiden Fucci trial too much, but I know what happened or the case. The trial, he pled guilty. So I believe they were really young. I think they were like, oh, let me see. I think Tristan Bailey was like 13 or something like that. She was really. All right. So there was this young girl. Okay, she was 13 and he was 14. This young girl, Tristan. Yeah, I am too. I'm surprised that I was surprised, but yeah. So she was a cheerleader. I think her favorite color was teal, if I remember from Criminality's video about it. She was 13 and he was 14, and he had a girlfriend. I know he was like over at his friend's house, and I think he left to meet Tristan because he had a crush on her and, like, I guess go for a walk. And I don't know what happened on this walk that sparked this, but I'll guess maybe, he had a girlfriend and he liked Tristan and maybe, tried to hook up with her and she threatened to like tell his girlfriend or something. That's just my guess. I don't know for sure. But she was stabbed like a lot of times, and her body was left, I think, behind like a backyard in a wooded area. And then he walked home. They were on camera walking together, and then he was on camera over 100 times. Yeah, I think it was like 114 or 112 times or something crazy like that. Hey, Plunkett, thank you. I love you too. And yeah, he was stabbed a lot, or she was stabbed a lot, and then he was caught on camera running back home with his shoes off. Teal is like a light bluish green. Do you ever see like Tiffany blue? It's kind of close to that, but a little bit lighter. And he's seen on camera running home, and he's running with his shoes in his hand, which I'm guessing because he didn't want to track blood from where he was. And then when he got home, his mom was caught on camera laundering his bloody pants. So I believe she was charged with like tampering with evidence. I don't know if she knew or if she didn't, or if she was just like, oh my god, this kid, got in a fight or did something. I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm sure there was a lot of blood though, so I have no idea. Maybe she tried to wash them because she was afraid if she threw them out they would be found. So she probably knew. I do believe from what I've heard, his dad was abusive towards him, and I'm not defending him at all. I'm just explaining where this could come from, because I've seen a lot of this and I follow a lot of there's this woman who does brain scans on killers to figure out why they kill, and people who are abused as children, like young kids, their brains don't develop right, and it doesn't make like those right connections. So maybe that could be like a cause of it. Like a lot of serial killers were severely abused as a child, things like that, or have something wrong with their prefrontal cortex, which is the area in your brain for decision making and impulse reaction. So that's just my guess, because I've heard that his dad was abusive. And so yeah, he thank you, Mel. He told a bunch of people he was going to do this. No way. So it didn't have any. Why did he say why he was going to do that? Pointer lover? I didn't hear that. That's crazy. He told his girlfriend and nobody said anything? Oh my goodness. I did not know that. That's crazy. Yeah, I was like, oh, well, I guess, I was expecting to find all this out at trial, but he took deal, I guess, and pled guilty. So, but that's crazy to me. And it's shocking to me because how young they were. Like, what in the world? I'm curious to know, like, why in the world he would ever want to do that. But he told all his friends he wanted to kill someone. What? Yeah, that's sick. That's, like, I wouldn't want. I wouldn't want to date anyone who was telling me they want to kill someone and they're gonna pick. Jeez, oh man. Yeah. I can't imagine most 15-year-olds hurting anyone ever. That other case, remember? I wonder when that's gonna I don't know. That guy was I don't know if he's being tried as an adult or not. Remember the girl who was riding her bike home from her aunt's house and was found like on the long way home in that like path, and it ended up being her cousin, I think. I forget her name, but it was like she was like blocks away from her house. I'm pretty sure it was her cousin, and a lot of people just stopped covering it because it was two minors in the same family, so it had to be really hard on that family. But I'm curious if that kid was charged with as an adult. He was practicing on his girlfriend with his knife. He was going up behind her and pretending to stab her. Oh my goodness. Does anyone remember the name of the case with the girl who was I feel like so the Aiden Fucci case was the one I was just not the one that I was just saying a second ago with the girl they found on the bike. The one I explained like minutes before that, where Aiden Fucci case is the 14-year-old kid who left his friend's house and met up with Tristan Bailey. She was a cheerleader. She liked the color teal. I guess he told his friend that he had a crush on her. And then they went for a walk around the neighborhood, and then he killed her and stabbed her over like 100-something times. And then his mom cleaned his clothes. That's the Aiden Fucci case. What I was saying is it reminds me of that other case with the girl who who went to go ride bikes and went to her aunt's house. And then she was found. Lily Peters. Yes, Abra, that was it. I haven't like checked the updates on that. I wonder if hold on one second. Okay. Yeah, Lily Peters, that was it. That's kind of like what it reminds. I mean, it's not as brutal as that, but two young people. She was even younger that are minors, and that one was really touchy because they were families. But yeah, 14 times, that's intense rage for sure. And I can't help but think that, it had like it's connected to, his dad being like that too, like, but still, it's crazy to me, like how anyone could just be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna, kill somebody and I'm gonna pick this person. Like, it's sick and it's twisted. That's crazy. I didn't know that Pointer Lover. I had no idea. Yeah, that I should have. I didn't really. I don't know why I never covered that case. Sometimes when I want to cover cases and then I'll be filing something else and then updates will come out and it'll get past me. Yeah, like genetic rage or like because he was abused, maybe his brain never made like regular connections, and I know like being abused causes a lot of gray matter in the brain, and things don't develop right. Yeah, Lily was like 10. That was a sad case. A mandatory of 40 years. Yeah, I think like a life sentence is like around that. Like one life sentence. You would think like a life sentence is like, they're in for life, but a life sentence is, hold on, let me. The life sentence, normally the term of a life sentence is 15 years, but depends on the, wow, there's no way. 15 years? Wait, let me see, hold on. I know there's like I thought it was like 40 years or something like that, or 25 maybe. But you would think like a life sentence is like you're in there for life, but it's not. It's like, I guess it probably depends on where you live. Hold on. Varies by state, I guess it says. I think in like Alaska, it's like 99 years though. He should get 114 years. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's a, yeah, most like, yeah, 25 to life or something like that. Yeah. I thought it was 25 too. The little punk taking that picture to caption, hey guys, anyone seen Tristan Light? Oh, we took a picture and captioned that? What a little bitch. That surprises me though. He like, maybe they didn't take him seriously and thought he was like kidding, but if like if he told you he was gonna do that, they should have told somebody. That's shocking to me that they all knew and they didn't say anything. Your granddaughter went to school with some of the friends. Oh wow. Was he like a popular kid? Like, or like, were they? Or I just like, his mom charged with tampering evidence, a third-degree felony charge. Is that his mom, Crystal Smith? Oh yeah, 114 times. Yeah, that's how many years he should do for every time he stabbed her. Someone told my son they were going to kill him if he didn't bring money to school. I went right to the school. Cops got involved. Kid said he was kidding. I said, I don't know this kid, right? I mean, you can't even play with that. If someone says that, it should always be taken seriously. Yeah, that's not something to joke about. Yeah, didn't he post like a Snapchat video in the back of the police car? Wow. What a little punk. I mean, maybe if you guys want, we can do like a whole like video on it and do like, I could do like a whole presentation on it. I just haven't had the chance. Oh my gosh, and the Murdaugh trial, apparently like the whole first half of the morning was canceled because of a bomb threat, which kind of makes me like, I wonder if that was like intentional. Like if, someone was going to testify that they didn't want to testify. Because I swore today's Wednesday, right? Today, Cousin Eddie was supposed to testify. At least I heard that on Wednesday, it was supposed to be the day Cousin Eddie testified. So it really makes me wonder, why there was a bomb threat, but like if it was intentional. I mean, it may not have been, but it's like, I did hear that, yeah, I swore Cousin Eddie was supposed to testify today, and then conveniently they have a bomb threat in the morning. I don't know. That just seems very, very suspect to me. Like, very suspect. Aiden was in trouble a few times already in jail. But bomb threat and was taking his files and smirking. Yeah. So I guess after the bomb threat was cleared, it resumed around 2:30, and they had a gunshot residue expert on who testified about the raincoat. Now, I haven't really updated from the other day. Okay, so from when I last went live, I'll just throw in the key important parts. There was a Alex Murdaugh's mother's caretaker testified, and she said that Alex hardly ever came there. And on the day of the murders, he came around 8 o'clock and stayed for 10 minutes. So this is before the murders happened, which she said was really strange to her. He came up and knocked on like the wall from the outside and asked her to open the door. Well, it seems as though that he was, what do you call it? Creating an alibi. You know, even though it wasn't in the right time frame, it was still like, oh, I was there. Maybe she won't remember what time it was exactly, whatever. But she said it was a little after 8 o'clock. And he was only there 10 minutes, and then he left. And then the murders occurred around 9. And he never went back that night. But he came the next morning, again, which was very strange because she said he never shows up, and then suddenly on those 2 particular days he shows up, and he was carrying what looked to her like a tarp because it was like folded up several times in his arms. And that he knocked on the wall and asked her to open the door, and then he came in and walked right past her and into the room, and I guess put the raincoat in the closet. Well, she thought it was strange, and I guess upon hearing that his family was killed, she told the police what happened, and they got this raincoat. They tested the raincoat, and it had gunshot residue on it. Having gunshot residue in the inside of his pockets. I think that possibly he wore this raincoat because, I mean, if anyone knows anything about raincoats, they could be, I mean, most of them, depending on what it looked like, they can be easily cleaned. You know what I mean? If you get blood on a raincoat, you could probably just easily wipe it off because it doesn't like absorb, you know what I mean, into the clothes. So just my guess that maybe he had this raincoat on and it was raining that day, so he had a reason to have it on, or maybe because he was using the hoses and the kennels that he had it on for some reason. Okay, Nina, thanks for coming, and thank you for having my back. I'm raising my granddaughter, and she thinks I'm nuts sometimes because I won't just let her go wandering off. Yeah. Well, Race Girl, it's a lot different than when we were kids. Like I'll hear stories from back in the day with like 8-year-olds riding their bike like a mile. I would have a heart attack if my kid rode his bike a mile away now. He's 7, but still, I would freak out. I don't even want him going outside unless he's like in my sights or in somebody's sights that I know well. But so anyway, then they had Jeannie Seckinger back on the stand, who I just love. She is awesome. She's a pit bull, and she ain't taking no crap from Alex Murdaugh. Yeah. Well, he was using the hose and the kennels, I guess, to like maybe clean the kennels, and maybe he like had the raincoat on to protect him from the water being sprayed around. I was a wild child too, Race Girl, but it's different now. You know what? Honestly, I don't know if it's different now or it just seems different now because we have social media and we know about everything going on. But it feels different now. You know what I mean? Yeah, my parents didn't know where I was until the street lights came on either. Times have definitely changed. So anyway, Jeannie Seckinger, the banker, she was, or not the banker, the lady who ran the books. She was on, and she testified again with the jury watching this time, and she just cracks me up. And then today there was a bomb threat. Oh, did they have somebody else on yesterday? I can't remember. I think it ended with Jeannie, but yeah, that's the sassy scarf wearing lady. Yes, she is sassy. So after her was the gun. So then they had the bomb threat, which, like I said, I feel like is really strange because I swore Cousin Eddie was testifying today, but I'm sure they will still be able to fit him in. And maybe he wasn't. I don't know, but I swore he was supposed. I swore they said Wednesday. So anyway, when court reconvened, they had the gunshot residue lady on, and I would imagine that they couldn't be like, okay, we'll have Eddie testify now because they probably have assigned time slots so they can get there on time and stuff. So her assigned time slot was probably at that time. So yeah, how coincidental of all days, right, Pointer Lover? But so the gunshot residue expert said that she had pulled the. All right, so I guess they took his clothes and the raincoat, and she said it was a little damp, but she didn't know if it was raining or not, and it smelled like laundry detergent, and there was gunshot residue on it, but she had not lifted the gunshot residue, but she is a gunshot residue expert. So she explained that basically gunshot residue can travel up to 60 feet. If you happen to just touch the gun that was shot, you could get it on you. If it's very easily spread. For instance, when she pulled out those particular items out of evidence, she could have got it on her hands that day. So I guess there were just some key things that she was explaining about gunshot residue. So, Mr. Gunn, which one was he? I know I feel like I can't remember who Mr. Gunn was. I know I'm missing somebody on the day that, that bookkeeper gave no shit. She's pissed. I mean, she's mad that he did that to her. You know what I mean? I would be mad too. Like, this man is your friend for years. Hey, Jen. This man has been friends for years, and I would be upset too. I would be very upset, and I don't blame her for being mad. And then to move on real quick, Lindsay Clancy. I wanted to talk about that. She had her arraignment for her charges. And this case is just so sad to me. I personally think she had postpartum depression. She was on a lot of meds. Her husband was staying home to take care of her till she got better. Even the in-laws and her parents were helping, all that jazz. She had seemed like she was getting better. Her husband briefly stepped out to pick up a takeout order, and while he was gone, she killed her 2 kids, and the other one survived and died in the hospital a couple of days later. And then she tried to hurt herself very badly, and I believe she jumped out of a window, and her injuries have left her paralyzed, I believe, from the waist down. She was arraigned in her hospital bed on what's it called? On Zoom. She was actually a labor and delivery nurse at a Massachusetts General Hospital. Me and Jen Sharp did a video together on this, if you guys want the whole everything. But he was working from home. They confirmed that she had strangled them with, I think they were exercise bands. And they said that it was premeditated because she had even... Alex got Jeannie's brother-in-law caught up, and she helped discover it. Her sister was upset. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Jen, right? It has to be so awkward. Very awkward. A midwife? I know she worked at a hospital because she was definitely a labor and delivery nurse in a hospital in like Massachusetts. 13 meds in 3 months. Yeah, it's a lot. So basically, they said that it was premeditated because she had looked in her phone at like Find Your iPhone to see where her husband was. So she knew she would have enough time. Yeah, at Massachusetts General near Boston. Yeah. So it's really sad because I think she had a bad case of PPD, and it can very much put you in a psychosis. And the thing about psychosis, the only thing I can really explain about it is you could very much be in a psychosis and commit premeditated murder because to an extent, like, you do know what you're doing, but you're still hallucinating in the same, like, all right, so my mom has a TBI and she occasionally goes into psychosis and she will really believe that people are trying to kill her and things like that, but she's capable of, if she feels that way, calling the police and telling, I mean, she has before. She's called the police on the guy that she lives with saying that he was trying to kill her, which he would never, ever try and kill her, but she would really believe it. And to people on the outside, you're like, this is just so far-fetched. Like, how the heck would she believe this? You know what I mean? But it's very much real to them. So it's so hard to grasp and understand, and like it's even hard for me to still grasp, but it does happen. Like, for instance, certain things can really set you off and put you into psychosis, and but it's not like, I mean, as far as I've seen, I don't know. Like, I can't really speak on it because but this is just from what I've seen, that it lasts for, like, you know, some hours, maybe like a whole day, but it doesn't seem like it like, but certain things will stress you out and snap you into it, and then you'll eventually like come out of it. But yeah, TBI is a traumatic brain injury. But for instance, like, my mom went to the dentist, and I guess maybe just the stress of the dentist put her into a psychosis, and she really believed that the dentist was trying to kill her and assault her and wanted to call the police on him. And it's very difficult because these people are just doing their job and trying to help. And yeah, it's like short-term irrational thinking from what I've seen. I don't know how. I don't think it lasts. From what I've seen, and my mom's only been in it like, you know, a couple hours, but it seems like certain things will put you into it, like maybe the stress of him leaving her with the children could have snapped her into it or something, because they said she seemed fine, you know. And I know a symptom of PPD is getting very stressed out, when like, and feeling like you're inadequate or can't do it. And yeah, we knew she was paralyzed before they announced it, but I didn't want to say that because it's her personal, you know, medical information. So I was just waiting for that to come out on its own. But she was told it was no big thing by women and infants in Providence, Rhode Island by psychiatrists mid-December, and they just sent her on her way. All right, sucks for mental health care, and I promise you that. Wow. Yeah, it's such a terrible thing because 3 children lost their lives, and now this dad pretty much lost his wife, and he lost his whole family, and it's tragic and it's terrible, and it's just and I mean, look, I will say, from looking at her Facebook and things like that, it looked like she was a great mom and really loved her kids, and yeah, it's terrible. It really is. So here's like a little. All right, so it says Before she was accused of killing her 3 children, she had been having one of her best days after a long struggle with anxiety. After his children were strangled, January 24th, at the family's Massachusetts home, Patrick Clancy told police that his wife had been smiling and happy earlier in the day. She has been charged in their deaths and was arraigned in Plymouth District Court. She is hospitalized following a suicide attempt and appearing, I should have said unaliving, and appeared at the court hearing by a video link. On the morning of the killing, she had taken her 5-year-old daughter, Cora, to the pediatrician for an appointment, where medical staff members noticed nothing out of the ordinary about her behavior. After they returned home, she built a snowman with Cora and 3-year-old Dawson, texting photos to her mother and husband. So as you hear, this sounds like normal behavior, and there was really nothing that would make them alarmed, When he left the house at his wife's request to pick up the children's medicine and food, the day took a horrifying turn. He returned home to find his wife lying in the backyard after attempting to die by unaliving. A 911 call captured Patrick Clancy screaming in agony and shock upon finding the couple's 3 children in the basement, strangled with exercise bands. Cora and Dawson were pronounced dead at the hospital that evening, and 8-month-old Callan died at the hospital 3 days later. And oh my gosh, the cheeks on that little boy were, oh my gosh, he was so cute. They were all cute, but I love babies and puffy cheeks. She was charged with 2 counts of murder and 3 counts of suffocation and strangulation. A plea of not guilty was entered on her behalf Tuesday. Prosecutors requested Tuesday that she be held without bail. They rejected her attorney's claims that she was a zombie who had been over-medicated with antidepressants and other psychiatric drugs. She had to strangle each of them to make sure the bands were squeezing. I don't want to read that. It's too gruesome. She could have changed her mind at any point during the time. They basically described what she had to do to kill them in detail, and that she could have changed her mind at any time, they said. The arraignment marked Lindsay's first public appearance since her children's death in a case that District Judge John Canavan described as both horrific and tragic. She attended virtually from an undisclosed Massachusetts hospital where she has been treated. She was wearing a mask that appeared to be a neck brace. He said his client is paralyzed below the waist of a spinal cord injury and a broken back and ribs sustained during attempted unaliving. He said she remains under 24/7 watch. She's extremely emotional. However, she's unable and has been unable to express any happiness or sadness or cry. Her emotions were muted even before the deaths. He said a month or two ago that Reddington said that a month or two ago, Lindsay Clancy had said, "I just wish that I could feel something." On Tuesday, from her bed, she spoke to the judge only once, responding, "Yes, Your Honor," when she was asked whether she could hear him. She showed little emotion other than when she closed her eyes and appeared to wipe away tears after Sprague described how the little children died. The judge ordered her held without bond in a hospital for mental treatment. It's possible she could be ordered to home confinement, adding that a hearing would be held before that could happen. And her next court date is May 2nd. Both Lindsay's lawyer and the prosecutor said her parents and husband were aware of what Reddington described as a mother's worsening depression and bad thoughts since the birth of her son, Callan, in May. But while Reddington contends she was suffering from postpartum depression and possibly postpartum psychosis, a rare condition in which hallucinations and delusions can alter people's sense of reality after childbirth, sometimes driving them to harm themselves or their children. Prosecutors said Lindsay Clancy was told she didn't have postpartum depression or any symptoms when she was evaluated at the Women and Infant Hospital Center. That's terrible. Hospital Center for Women's Behavioral Health in Providence, Rhode Island last year. She was diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder. So obviously she was complaining about something, but they said it was generalized anxiety. The day before the killings, Lindsay wrote a note in her phone that said a representative from Massachusetts General Hospital previously confirmed to NBC Boston that Lindsay Clancy had been an employee. Let me just say, a lot of people won't truly say how bad they feel, because especially if you're like a tough person, you're like, oh, well, it's not too bad, you know what I mean? But I feel like this may have been one of, like, the issue here. She never used the word psychosis to describe her symptoms until she was arrested while speaking to her husband on a cell phone belonging to a forensic psychologist whom her lawyer arranged to examine her. During that call, she told her husband she killed the kids during a moment of psychosis when she heard a voice ordering her to do so. Sprague pointed to an October note in which Lindsay Clancy is alleged to have written, I think I sort of resent my other children because they were preventing me from treating Callan like my first baby. And I know that's not fair to them. I know that. I was feeling so depressed last evening when Cora and Dawson came home from school. I know it rubs off on them, so we had a pretty rough evening. I want to feel love and connection with all of my kids. She also wrote in the entry that she hopes to have more children. The prosecutor also said that 3 days after the children's death, while intubated, Lindsay Clancy alleged wrote a note asking, do I need an attorney? It was one of the first questions she asked after she regained consciousness. She knew that she had murdered her children and that she had the clarity, focus, and mental acumen to focus on protecting her own rights and interests, he said. She checked herself into McLean Hospital, a psychiatry facility in Belmont, Massachusetts, on January. How could they not diagnose her with that if she said that? She had also written in a journal about having suicidal ideation. Sorry, I can't see chat because I am reading, but hold on. Well, if she told her husband that she had thoughts about hurting the kids, I can't believe they did not diagnose her with postpartum depression. That just blows my mind. I live in Providence where women and infants, they're hit or miss. They also misdiagnose my best friend's cancer and passed away at the age of 19. Oh my goodness, that's sad. I'm sorry, Carly. It's hard to live normally with the symptoms she had. It's an act to hide while being beat up. Yes, I agree. I think, I think a lot of people hide stuff from everybody. You never want to, like, admit how bad you actually feel. Like, I mean, who wants to say to a doctor? Because here's the thing. Look, think about it from a mother's point of view. What if you say to your doctor, I'm thinking about harming my kids? Then you have to worry about CPS coming, them taking away your children. Even if that's what you were thinking, most people wouldn't want to tell the doctor that. Even her husband might have not wanted to tell the doctor that out of fear of that. You know what I mean? Like, it's scary because if you do go tell someone, hey, I'm thinking about harming my kids, you potentially run the risk of CPS coming and taking your kids away. So, you know what I mean? Like, I can see how it would be very hard for somebody to say, I'm having thoughts of hurting my children. I have lived through both postpartum depression and postpartum psychosis. I had racing, irrational thoughts. Admitting what was going on was hard. Therapy, RXs, and more to get better. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people don't want to admit that something's wrong because then you're admitting that something's wrong with you and that there's a weakness and that you're thinking about doing something that no mom should ever feel. And it's shameful, I'm sure. I'm sure it feels shameful to, like, I've never experienced it, but I can't imagine trying to, like, understand why you feel that way and how shameful it must feel, because I think anyone when they first have a baby really expect to have that instant connection, and when you don't, it's like something's wrong with me or I'm doing something wrong. Like, why is this not happening? So yeah, I would be afraid to tell. I mean, honestly, I would be afraid to tell the doctor too. Seriously, I would be afraid to say I'm thinking about harming my children because God forbid they take my children away. You know what I mean? I would be terrified to say that. I mean, I would say it to my husband, but not the doctor. All right, so she had also written in a journal about having unaliving ideation. She was discharged from the facility January 5th. After she returned home, she appeared to be getting better, noting that she had stayed alone with the children and told him in mid-January that she was no longer having the thoughts. But Reddington alleged that Lindsay had been thoroughly destroyed by several medications, including Valium, Prozac, Klonopin, and Zoloft, which he claimed masked her symptoms rather than treated them. Now, another thing is, I know a lot of people, not every medicine works for them. You have to keep trying until something works. So, I had hallucinations under one of the meds. The prosecution has been caught in telling lies in the past few days. Had to apologize, so I'm waiting for more info. Gotcha. Luckily, my thoughts were never to harm my child, but I wasn't worthy and should run from my husband, then murder myself. The thoughts went on for so long. Oh my goodness, that's terrible. I'm sorry, Sheila. My goodness. Like, yeah. And having hallucinations is, I'm sure, is terrifying. I mean, I can't even imagine. Our society fails miserably in treating women with postpartum depression and postpartum psychosis. It's medicate, 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 he told the court. 50 family members, friends, and former colleagues submitted letters to the judge testifying Lindsay Clancy's character, her lawyer said. 50 family members, friends, and former colleagues submitted letters to the judge testifying to Lindsay Clancy's character, her lawyer said. When Reddington toured the Clancy family home recently, he found a wish vase with dozens of these little pieces of paper that talk about Lindsay's wish for happiness and health for her children, that she could get pregnant again, that her children would be happy, healthy, and successful. This is not a woman that had any reason to harm those innocent children, Reddington told the court. I just can't fathom her future from here on out. I don't even know how she's going to live with herself or family will support her. Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, it's a really difficult situation because I would have a hard time, forgiving someone who, killed my grandbabies or my kids. But it seems like her husband, does forgive her and is sticking up for her. But I don't even know how, I'm sure navigating this is going to be very difficult for them for sure. Especially if she has to go on home confinement. I don't even know how that would work. With her husband or with her parents. Ugh, I can't even imagine. How they're going to even, but at least it's not I don't know. I feel like it would be easier if you knew the person's intentions were bad, because it would just be maybe you could make a decision a little better, but or navigate it better. But this is one of those situations where it's well, she was unwell, so how do you don't know, you know what I mean? I don't know how I would navigate that, because it's I would be I hope that it's her being unwell that made her do this, Yeah. You know what? I hate the Andrea Yates case because I just feel like that's another postpartum depression case, and she was schizophrenic as well. And I totally blame her husband too, because he knew that she was very, very unwell. And still they kept having more children. And that case just infuriates me. It's true, she functioned in the way she should. I'm sure it was the biggest struggle too, but people think it's easy. She did what she was told to on the inside. Yeah. Yeah. I agree, point of lover. Her husband was that just I hate that case. I think he's partly to blame, honestly. I really do. I don't think she was well enough to keep having children, and I just that case rubs me in such a wrong way. I hate the Andrea Yates case, but I do think it's a good opportunity though to talk about how you know how they can do more with women's health and for men to you know notice the signs more, I guess, or stay on top of it more, or if she's still like maybe wait as long as you can before leaving your kids alone with somebody who is unwell, I guess. Oh yeah, he is partly, yeah, he wanted more kids. Hey cuz yeah, he's totally partly to blame. But yeah, that case drives me crazy. But sorry, cuz I'm about to end it now. You just came in. But I'm about to end this now because I'm about to hop off because I'm gonna go play Hogwarts, and I've been on for like an hour and 20 minutes though. I want to go play the new Hogwarts game. If you're a gamer, even if you're not a gamer, this game is so good. It's definitely going to be game of the year. It's so different than any game I played. I'm obsessed with it. I love it so much. It's like, all right, so it's an open world game, and you're at like Hogwarts School, and there's Hogsmeade, and there's the Forbidden Forest, and you can go explore all them places, and then you can take classes, which the classes teach you spells that help you do more quests. And you get like special robes and gears from chests that you find, but like you find chests through like using spells to like open doors, and there's all these little secret compartments and things. Well, I'll have to listen to it when I get off. Did you record it? Like, is it recorded, Jess? But it's so good. It's such a good game. And it's so different than any game I played, and I am really enjoying it. So I'm probably going to stay up till 4 a.m. again playing this game. But yeah, thank you, everybody. Yeah, I agree, Sheila. I agree. But I don't fault them because she did seem better, but maybe just these people should wait a little long. All right, I will. I'll check it. If you guys like music and DJs, you can check out my cousin's channel. And thank you for everyone for your support, and I appreciate all of you. And I will talk to y'all. I probably won't be here Friday because it is Dave's birthday, so I'm not sure yet. But if not, I'll try and go live tomorrow. Just to because I won't be here Friday. Oh, good. That's good. All right. Good night, y'all. Thank you for coming, and I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow. And I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.